Welcome to Movie Caps. Today, I will show you an Indian drama film from 2010, titled Guzarish. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. Ethan Mascarenhas is a former renowned magician, who is now quadriplegic. His nurse, Sophia, stays with him most of the time, and helps him in his routine tasks. He also hosts a radio show, in which he always talks about positivity, and the importance of being optimistic, as he thinks it's the only thing that can keep one going in his life. One day he calls his friend and lawyer Devyani Datta, and tells her that he wants to file a petition of euthanasia, the act of mercy killing, as he is fed up with his dependent lifestyle. After failing to convince him to take back his decision, she calls his doctor, and shares about his plan of taking his own life. Dr. Nayak, who has been treating him for 14 years, and has become a very good friend, comes over, and both try to stop him, but Ethan tells he cannot live like this anymore, where he is unable to even lift a finger without someone's help. As he refuses to change his mind, Devyani files his petition for euthanasia, but the case gets dismissed at the first hearing. The court does not allow him, thinking it might promote suicide. The next day, Sophia learns about the case from the newspapers, and gets upset with him for not sharing it with her earlier. As she angrily leaves the room, she spots a guy named Omar Siddiqui at the house, who introduces himself as the producer of Ethan's radio show. Omar tells her that he is a big fan of Ethan's, and is ready to work with him at any cost. She takes him to Ethan, who gets offended as he starts talking about his disability, and asks him to leave. As he always seems to be full of life, many people feel sorry for him, but argue that he should not end his life like this, because he always talks about being optimistic. Ethan listens to these opinions and gets really angry, by thinking no one is understanding him. Seeing him frustrated and constantly talking about his condition, Sophia makes him sleep by giving him a sedative. The next day, Sophia finds Omar at the house again, and intends to take him to the police station, but he reveals he is not a producer, but an emerging magician, who wants to learn some techniques from Ethan. She unwillingly takes him to Ethan, where Omar quickly convinces him to be his teacher. Before Ethan can grant his request, he asks what he will choose between magic and love, but gets impressed as Omar picks love, considering it more important than magic. As Ethan agrees to be his teacher, Omar pledges not to share any trick with anyone, and Ethan gives him a book that contains all his secret tricks. Omar excitedly starts going through the book, while Ethan remembers his magic shows, that used to stun thousands of people. After Sophia leaves at night, while asking Omar to take care of Ethan, he calls Omar for help, and asks him to change his position. As Omar has never done it before, he loses control over his body, which makes Ethan fall to the floor. On his request for help, Sophia, who is about to leave the house, rushes back to his room and helps him pick him up again. He apologizes for his mistake, but she refuses to listen to any explanation about his negligence. After a few days, Devyani comes again, and tells him that he can still make an appeal in his case about euthanasia. Ethan believes the court's decision will be the same this time as well, but she proposes that Ethan should use his radio show to convince people in his favor. Seeing her constantly talking about the case, Sophia, who is against Ethan's decision, argues with her, but Devyani reveals she has been with him for 14 years, and for the sake of their friendship, she will keep on supporting his case, as it's important to end his misery. The next day, Omar asks Sophia about her family, and suggests she should spend time with them instead of Ethan. After urging her to take a leave, he goes to Ethan's bedroom to serve his lunch. While at the table, Ethan tells him that he is from a humble family, who went through many financial crises after his father died. To meet their expenses, his mother decided to become a singer at a local bar. Things were going good, and he even used to make a lot of money, but it went downhill, as some of the customers started complaining about her. One day as she returned from the show crying, Ethan cheered her up by showing her a magic trick, and it proved to be his first act, as he decided to pursue it as a career. While learning from him, Omar sometimes thinks he won't be able to perform any of the acts, but Ethan assures him he can do it with his concentration and hard work, and Omar eventually succeeds, while Sophia and Ethan appreciate him. In his next show, Ethan talks about his petition for mercy killing, and asks people's opinion about it. Omar turns out to be his first caller, and votes against the decision, while admiring his teaching skills, and considering him a life mentor. Unexpectedly, everyone in his first show disagrees with him, and tries to stop him from doing it, as he has many fans who are not in favor of him taking his own life. He gets frustrated thinking no one is understanding his point. The situation continues for days, until a female caller, and Ethan's former assistant Estella calls him. She reveals about her wonderful experience of working with him, and tells that she always understood his point of view, even when he asked her to marry someone else, and never see him again. She turns out to be the first and only supporter of his idea, who votes in his favor. Ethan later remembers how he and Estella used to work together, and spends the night crying, after remembering his good times. The next morning, Omar, Ethan, Devyani and Sophia hear TV shows talking about his case. Devyani thinks it's the perfect time to refile the case, and suggests he should come to the court as well. As he agrees to go, Sophia helps him get ready, and they shift him to the car. Ethan enjoys the ride, as he has never been outside since his accident, and happily watches people going on with their lives, but feels depressed at the same time, thinking he can't do any such things. At the hearing, Devyani asks permission from the court to let him speak about his condition, but the prosecutor stops him, and asks for more time. Thinking he is just trying to waste time, Sophia protests against it, but is forced to stop, as the judge threatens to dismiss the case again. He takes into account Ethan's condition, and dismisses the hearing, while ordering that the next hearing will be held at his house. After a quick visit to the beach, the trio go to a restaurant for lunch, where they have a great time in each other's company. The next day, Ethan's mother comes over to see him, and discloses that he had stopped her from coming over, as he does not want her to see him like this. She feels sorry for her son and tries to comfort him, but knows his condition is not going to change any time. At the next hearing at his house, Devyani presents his case, saying no one else will be able to truly understand his condition. She questions Mr. Nayak, Ethan's doctor, who tells his condition is constantly deteriorating, and there are no chances of his recovery. Despite being the one who saves life, Nayak supports Ethan in the case. After talking to Omar and Sophia about the case, the prosecutor tries to prove that Ethan's mental condition is not stable at the moment, and they cannot allow him to die like this. On her turn, Ethan's mother says it's his life, so he should get to decide what he wants to do with it. She begs the judge to grant him permission, and tells him that she is even ready to help him take his life, because she wants her son's pain and sufferings to stop. As the judge asks Ethan if he wants to share something, he asks Omar to bring in a wooden box, and requests the prosecutor to spend 60 seconds inside. As he quickly starts asking them to let him leave, Ethan tells it's how his life feels, where he is unable to do anything of his will, and everyone at the court is left speechless. It rains at night, and the water starts dripping on his face. Ethan keeps on calling someone for help, but neither Omar, nor his mother hear his voice, and no one comes over to help him out. The next morning, Sophia comes over, and gets shocked to learn that he spent the night like that. After getting comfortable again, Ethan asks Omar to go call his mother, as he wants her to join him for breakfast, but Omar finds her dead in her room. At her funeral, Ethan sings the song for his mother, which she used to sing at the bar, and pays homage to her, while everyone cries for his loss. In his next radio show, he receives a call from Yasser Siddiqui, his former best friend and fellow magician. Yasser apologizes to him, but Ethan says it does not matter now, as he died for him at the night of his accident, when he betrayed him. It is revealed, it was Yasser who hired someone to mess up his show, and made him fall to the ground. Yasser regrets betraying him, but it's too late now. The next day, Omar tells him about doing his first magic show, and thanks him for being his teacher. He tries to confess something to Ethan, but he reveals he already knows he is Yasser's son. Omar admires him for his greatness, but he says goodbye to him after showing his last magic trick. Sophia's husband visits her, and argues with her for preferring Ethan over him. After arguing with her and beating her up, he forcibly takes her with him, but Ethan cannot do anything for her. Dr. Nayak comes over again, and says he wants to shift him to the hospital, as his condition is getting worse. Seeing him worried about Sophia, he tells him that he got a call from her, and she confirms she will come back soon. Meanwhile, everyone waits for the historic judgment on Ethan's case, as it's the first ever case of euthanasia in the country's history, but unfortunately he loses, and is forced to continue living like this, while his friends cry for his miseries. Sophia comes back to him after hearing the news, and tells she got divorced from her abusive husband. She tells Ethan that she is ready to help him fulfill his wish, and assures she won't back out. He tries to stop her, saying she can go to jail, but she confesses her love for him, and tells that she is ready to do it for him at any cost. In return, he asks her to marry him, because he also wants to fulfill her wish before leaving the world. Later, all of Ethan's friends come over to the party, which he has arranged as his farewell, and spend the best time with him. Although he teases them, he thanks everyone for standing by his side through thick and thin. As he informs them about marrying Sophia, they congratulate both of them, but get emotional at the same time, as it's their last moments with him. He thanks Sophia for taking care of him for the past 12 years, and calls her the love of his life. Sophia kisses him, and Ethan concludes the night by singing a song, while being surrounded by his friends. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications and leave a like to help the channel out.